We'll call Waste Management Monitoring Committee to order. Roll call.
Marvin Wolf,
Here.
Harvey Schweitzer.
Here.
Annalise Smith. Here. Rolly Kiefer.
Here.
Melvin Hebron.
Here.
Belinda Costa.
Here.
Sudarshan Sharma.
Yep.
We have a new member.
Yeah, I'm Billy Thays. I'm being punished by the town of Raymond. So here I am.
Okay, Billy, we're going to give you the chance to introduce yourself and tell us what you do, and so we all get a little bit of idea what your background is.
I grew up living in the town of Raymond. We grew up on 8 Mile Road,
Okay.
just east of 108th. My wife and I built a house on 108th, just south of 8 Mile. I'm a family farm. Currently, my wife and I went through a divorce, but I'm just living at the end of 8 Mile right now. But I'll be moving into my brother's house, which passed away a year and a half ago, which is the same house we grew up on. And so the town appointed me to come to the meetings now,
Okay.
since Stan passed away.
Hey, I've known this kid for, how many years? How old are you?
55.
I knew him for about 54 of those years.
Yeah, son
It's my
Scott.
sons.
Well, then Mel knows you. And,
Yeah, Mel is
Yeah.
a neighbor
Okay.
down the road.
Okay, well,
BJ, your brother?
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Sorry to hear that.
Billy's a good guy.
exactly.
Billy, matter of fact, was involved with the town of Raymond a couple times when they even invited me over to when we were doing the contract and everything. I went over by the town board and Billy was there and he was on a committee over there at the time, so he's familiar and he'll be a good member, so.
okay, we'll welcome you aboard.
Well, thank you.
Okay, and I know with my connection with Brad here, Brad will agree with me that if you want to see us do our tour of the site to know what we're doing, how we're doing it, we can arrange that for you, okay?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That way you get more information as far as what we're doing and how we're doing it, and,
All right.
you know, because you're going to get inquiries from your residents,
Yeah,
and this way we want to get you inquiries from your residents,
yeah.
and this way we want to get you informed, not, you know.
What I do is if they call me with a complaint, I just give them his number.
That's right. I got a number. I'll give you that number. It's on the website. That's what it's for, and I take care of it.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, we'll move
Okay.
on.
And also present, sorry, is Brad Vanderkin and Ryan Bailey.
Ryan.
Yeah. And the meeting was posted in accordance with the open meeting law. Now.
Okay, everybody should have a copy of the minutes from our November 4th meeting. Is there any comments on the minutes from November 4th?
I move to approve.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Minutes approved. Okay, public comment period. Okay, public comment period. Not hearing any. We'll move on. Financial report. Everybody should have got a copy of that. Okay. Any questions on the financial report?
Do they put the same money in every year? 5 cents?
No, whenever we need it, they'll put money in.
Oh,
Okay, depends on what we need.
and they put it in once a year, right? Or is it
Sometimes
whenever
it depends
whenever you need
what's going on, yes. Depends
Whenever you need it.
what's going on, yes.
The host agreement has an inflation component, so the amount that they can put in increases every year.
Oh, okay.
But it is a defined pull when asked for by the committee.
Oh.
But there is a cap. I just don't think the committee gets close to it very much anymore.
We never have. On the phone that is, that I carry from Waste Management, the one I carried locked up. Took it to Verizon, they couldn't unlock it. So for $8.95, I've got a new phone.
Yeah.
Same number.
Same number, everything, the numbers have,
Same number.
Same number, everything, the numbers haven't changed, but for some reason, my information that was on the waste phone was in the cloud. They could pull it all back and put it in this phone. So I still carried all the information over it. Now we've got lock codes in there that if it does again, and we have no idea why it locked. So, okay. No, seeing there's no questions on the finance report, can I have a motion to a second?
I make motion approved.
Okay, a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Under new business, Jay Spears, motion passes. Under new business, Jay Spears, report.
So since our last meeting, all construction projects are finished. Complete, I don't want to use the term because expansion is ongoing, because they're still got phase 3B, right? That's what we're calling the next. So a new cell is under when weather permits, and that means, you know, in the freeze, it's expensive to dig, so they won't be doing that. In the original part of spring, it's mucky, it's expensive to dig. But once the construction season kicks off again, there will be construction on site. But the CAP project is fully completed, so we should see that green and so on sometime in the early spring. Quote unquote negative comment I have is the practice at the site is not to place cover on the fluff layer. So there has been the occasional garbage over when I've been out, but the fluff layer is about 60%.
Well, no, we'll get further than that by tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was on the site 2 days ago. And okay.
yeah.
I was on the site 2 days ago. And so they're past the 50% point. And the fluff layer is the select MSW waste that is unlikely to puncture it and so on. So they spread that out first. It gives them a nice 12 to 15 foot buffer for the next layer that goes on. And the next lift that they put across will have, and whatever odors were potentially there shouldn't be any longer.
Any questions?
When they put that fluff layer, do you start the gas wells right away?
So there's a belly pipe in there, and then, but we don't start the gas wells right away because then you're gonna be sucking too much, oxygen in.
You got the pads too. So they place stone pads. Everything's GPS, but
They
you
know
still
the
want to make
location.
sure that you're very accurate. So they will protect the liner with a stone pad. Every site does it subtly different, but they're usually 25 feet by 25 by 4 feet. And that's on.
Any other questions? Not hearing any, do we have a motion to accept Joe Spears' report?
I'll move.
Second?
Well, thanks, Annalise. That sounded just so.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Report. Brad?
Yeah, I mean, Joe kind of covered some of it here, but we did get construction document approval from DNR on January 3rd, which means we can move into the new cell, which we've been constructing over the last year. So cell construction was completed for 3A. Cell construction was completed for 3A. We have been digging for 3B in preparation to build another cell, which is 3B, which we don't plan on actually putting any liner down or constructing that this year at all. It's probably next year. Our cap construction is pretty much completed. They didn't get, so I think we do still have some seeding work and things to do before the weather changed on us, but we got that in the works as well. We were working on installing a 24-inch landfill gas header pipe, and that's about 98% complete. That's going to our turbine plant. We're waiting on a valve stem yet. And we didn't get that quite in yet. So once that gets in, then we'll be looking at giving some more gas to our turbine plant. This last week, we actually dug in a few more horizontal wells into our existing cell. So as you talked about the gas, so we dig into horizontal wells as we're building orders out of the cell that we currently are working in.
What size is the pipe you're putting in?
I think that was 6-inch we put in there, Ryan?
Yep.
6-inch pipe.
And what's the 24?
So the 24 is a header pipe, so that'll feed from the smaller pipes to the main pipe that goes to the turbine plant. As far as our site operations are going right now, we're all hands on deck trying to get 3B, get our fluff layer down so that we can, makes it a little bit easier filling conditions once we can get all our trucks down there. It's a pretty tight active area for us right now. our waste volumes are down, which they tend to be in quickly, so we're down to, as compared to what we were fully rolling in the summer, so that slows. It's been windy lately. We've been staying on top of wind blow and litter as much as we can. Just put that in there. We've been trying to be as diligent as we can to keep those roads clear and keep anything. We've been trying to be as diligent as we can to keep those roads clear and keep anything that anyone can see, but the wind has been definitely a factor, and even the cold weather. Having the guys out there picking in minus 25-degree weather sometimes it's unsafe and it's tough to get people out there as well. So we've been trying to stay on top of the residential yard.
Looks real good.
And it seems to be going over pretty well with most of the residents now. So we spent a good amount of money getting that updated and trying to make it a little smoother for everyone getting it out. Yeah, I was gonna say Stan would be happy.
Stan would be great.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Any questions of Brad?
Great.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions of Brad?
The turbines aren't running?
No, it is running.
They are running?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just one,
Just a
right?
second
Just
header
one.
that goes to the turbine plant. So we have
Okay.
a header from the old hill.
Yep,
Just
yep.
doesn't have very good gas. We want to start getting the good gas.
Good gas from the new hill, okay.
Why is it bad gas? Just because
It's just getting old.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's degrading, so the gas curve, as we call it, is going down.
Huh.
Just doesn't produce methane like it used to, so.
I'll be there.
So the old hill, there's so many years of good gas and all of a sudden it starts like all us old guys start going. All of a sudden it starts like all us old guys start going.
Slow down slowly, not very fast, slow, very slow decline.
Okay.
Does the hill sink?
Once you reach a
Oh, yeah.
threshold, what do you
Oh,
do?
they settle quite a bit.
At a certain point, it's not usable, what do you do?
Well, there's technically, they don't have a not usable point because they're required to 18%. They'll still sputter at that, won't they?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't
So-
think they like to operate that low on, but
And they're older than there's new technology, but yeah, they still have to deal with it. So even if they're not generating power, they'll still be flaring it. Even if they have to, there's a point at which they will, hopefully when all of us are no longer involved, they'll actually be adding propane to it to make sure that the methane all burns.
surrounded by the landfill.
I feel like I should point out, the site is unique now for the first time. There's only one expansion that's open. And if you think about the landfills that we've all looked at, and we have the other landfill on the other side of the street, they only have one cell now that is actually open. The older portion of the landfill is entirely capped. So it's no longer, there are multiple working phases, they're at least in the same general cell. So it is kind of neat to all be in one expansion. And yeah, there's an overlay, but it's not an overlay on a site that's 5-6 years old. So it should make for some interesting, gas control and a lot less odors.
When you guys keep talking about the cells, do you guys have either on this site or our site here what the cells look like? I mean, I'm thinking of the dump as I come into the, the different areas of this. I'm thinking of the dump as I come into the, the different areas of the street from 8 Mile to Oakwood and then to 108th, and I'm like, okay, no, the south side is the older site, but how is the cells in there?
So right now, a cell's like a bathtub. We build smaller cells in that permitted airspace. So we build basically like a bathtub. How big is this one? 7 acres?
Yeah, 7 acres.
7 acre cell. And so it's kind of pitched to one side. So we got clay layer and then geosynthetic layer and then stone over the top of that to protect the layers. And then we go over with a fluff lift, which is just basically MSW trash, just normal household trash that helps protect that as well before we start putting other special waste and other material on top of that to protect that as well. And then it all kind of pitches down towards a drain, not necessarily a drain, towards a pump the leachate out. So that's when we say a cell, it doesn't necessarily need to be that configuration, but
Right.
that's
Okay, I just like trying to figure out kind of like where the area is, and it's like, okay, we're here, like you got different blocks on the road.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost, I would say.
When are we going to hit the,
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost, I would say.
when are we going to hit to interject here, but when are we going to have the tour so people can actually see it and understand it,
August?
How about August 4th? Or unless you want to tour anytime just by yourself, you could too.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just saying,
So that's,
Just
we
been
will
kinda
have it during
goofy
good weather.
Now to go.
no,
and-
and it's hard to understand unless you actually see it
Right.
and
Right.
go from there, you know?
Once you get up on the top of the old hill and you look to the north, you can actually see the cells.
Okay.
Okay, because we've been up there and you could actually see they're just rectangular box to the west and then
Right.
cell
Yeah,
three.
because I'm like thinking, like it says 8 Mile, and I know the bigger area. And then how close to Oakwood are you? You know, and
You're
as
still
I've
quite a
driven,
ways from
yeah, I
Oakwood,
know I
yeah.
driven down 108th Street, so it's like, okay, well, I can see, like, holy cow, that's getting bigger.
Right.
If you pull up the webpage with the audits, each audit has a map. Page with the audits, each audit has a map at the end.
Okay.
And that shows it's an aerial view of
That's-
the landfill
okay.
between the 4 roads.
All right, thank
No,
you.
we had discussed about having a tour again, but we got to get warmer weather. You don't want to go out there now.
No, I don't want to go out there
We didn't
now.
have one last year because of COVID, right?
COVID, yeah. We canceled it because of COVID, so we didn't have it then. Okay, so we didn't have it then. Okay, but we still want to continue that process so that the whole board gets to see what's going on during the year. You know, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
The only last thing we talked about it last time was the MERV fines that everyone was kind of interested in that we used for cover, and just kind of brought a sample of that and see for you guys to see. But yeah, it's the best.
You want to, when you pick it up, you realize how heavy it is. Its density is a lot of the reason why it's effective, because they didn't just select this and then start putting it as daily cover. Not as a state permit, they had to do it for each site.
This is my
Any other
stuff.
questions?
And that's what you put over every night then?
That's your stuff?
Yeah.
That's a lot of it. It's mix some wood
From
chips
the
and other
MERV
materials.
that I, bring.
Okay.
Do we have any other questions from the board? Any other questions from the board?
Is that the fluff there?
Yeah,
No.
That's.
That's daily cover material.
yeah, daily cover.
Oh,
Fluff layer looks like what's in your garbage can at home.
oh,
But,
Actually, can I get it? Sure.
auto fluff,
Mm-hmm.
that's what this is?
No, this is more of like, these are fines from a recycling facility.
Oh, okay, I got you. But at one time, you could
Auto
use
fluff.
auto fluff,
Auto
right?
fluff looks pretty similar to that,
Yeah,
because it's just a mix of old car parts, so
yeah,
it's just,
all the plastic and
Yeah.
material, whatever.
It doesn't look-
Whatever's not metal,
it doesn't look too much different than that.
yeah. Got a nice picture there?
We're doing a MC Clean and Dry Facebook campaign, so,
Maybe you could ask and take the whole thing.
Aside from the,
well, that's
Aside
from
from the
our facility, so
Yeah.
I can get enough, I can get it anytime I need.
oh, okay.
You're just gonna say, we had a sample at the meeting, so.
Yeah.
Do we have any more questions from Brad?
Now, Brad, that's leftovers from making plastic and,
This is left over from recycling process.
oh, okay, so
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yep.
Any more
Chopper,
questions?
the grinder or something?
No, I think this kind of just falls off the line while they're
Oh, is that
sorting
right?
it and just,
Yeah, they call it residuals. So legally, we can't grind up plastics and so on for daily cover. That is not an acceptable beneficial reuse in Wisconsin. Doesn't mean, I'm just saying Wisconsin. So this is the stuff that the conveyor belts and the wheels and all the various automation, kind of grinds up and it falls off to the side or it gets caught. And, there's dust bags, there's hoppers at the end, there's all sorts of things that collect it. And this is the stuff that doesn't have a recycled material use. So it falls under the beneficial reuse in state law for waste.
A lot of it comes off of the final polishing screen that separates paper from bottles and cans. So 20 years ago, you had to separate bottles and cans yourself, but now these screens kind of do that work for you. But anything that's smaller than 2 inches by 2 inches by 2 inches falls through and they pull it off before it goes. So that's where most of that comes from, and it's a lot of shredded paper. So if people don't bag their shredded paper properly, and then if people have a lot of liquids left in their bottles and cans, it'll come out and it makes that paper really, really heavy and too small. So paper has to be larger than a Post-it note. It needs to be larger than your fist to make it through the system to be recycled.
Wow.
It's a lot of Miller Lite labels.
So,
Yeah, so bottle cap, so if you don't put your bottle cap back on the bottle, that's where it's gonna end up. Small pill bottles, so, yeah.
Very, very interesting. Is that what they do at 45? On, that's not what they do there. The one that burnt down. that's
at
what-
John's Recycle?
Oh,
Yeah, John's, yeah.
Yeah, that's what, yeah, they would do,
Oh, John's.
they did C and D,
Yeah.
right?
Something similar.
They did C and D recycling.
no, John's is Franksville is,
It's a recycling.
Franksville is,
It's a
um,
recycling.
Standard MRF.
yep.
It's Germantown, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Don does the same as Germantown does.
Franksville, Germantown, ours in Milwaukee, and Whitewater are kind of the four big, we call it a MRF shed, so just like a watershed, where like a community all kind of puts their waste. So those are the big four around here.
So all their trash goes through that and gets separated out.
Just recycling carts, whatever you set out for recycling. There's no municipal solid waste.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Any other questions? Not hearing none, do we have a motion to approve Waste Management's report?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Motion passes.
I got to talk about my.
Item
stuff.
6, item D,
You want me to nominate somebody?
if you want.
I'm gonna nominate Mel.
I accept.
Second.
Everybody's.
Nominations are closed.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
What does this mean I gotta do?
Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
What does this mean I gotta do?
Huh?
What does this mean I gotta do?
Too late.
How about a way to get railroaded in?
I know how he feels.
Okay, item 6, any missile authorized by law, anything?
I guess I got a question on the road. Obviously, the damp days, it's pretty rough with a lot of dirt. But the shoulder is getting, the other day, one of the trucks from whatever, drove off the road when it was soft, and the mud must be 4 or 5 inches deep over there.
Okay.
So when he got back on the street, he's almost all the way to 36. So I was curious when and how and
Probably get back to you on that one.
Because you do have a grader.
Yeah, grader's down at Pheasant Run right now.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I'm allowed to run the grader on the side of the
I don't know
road.
either.
That's not
You'll have to
mine,
look
so
into it.
Like I said, that's.
because it's state highway, I don't know who's.
Yeah.
I would call Gail at Racine County Highway Department and see if they can shoulder that this spring or something, or fall,
There you go.
sometime this year anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that maintain it, right?
Yeah.
Isn't-
Yeah.
Well,
Right, Racine
you
County
guys,
maintains that one.
you guys do sweep the highway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they sweep it, that's the
Yeah.
problem.
yeah,
We have a contractor sweeping it.
yeah.
No, it sweeps over onto the side of the road.
So then it
Place
just turns
for it.
into mud eventually.
So. Okay, that'll be looked into then.
Better than on the pavement.
Item 7, schedule meetings.
Right on the side of the
Before
road.
we go on, we want to make sure that in the next meeting, we talk about the well sampling letters and
Right,
contracts.
right.
The next meeting, we talk about the well sampling letters and
Right,
contracts.
Right.
Right,
Okay.
we just need it on the schedule.
Yeah,
okay.
we'll have it on the schedule.
Or
Okay,
the agenda,
gotcha.
sorry.
Okay,
All right.
so then it'll be item 7, next scheduled meeting will be May 5th, 2022. Okay, any other business? Not hearing none, do I have a motion to, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Uh,
The meeting is adjourned. 6:20.
That's the quickest